This video's for entertainment purposes. I don't know, I'm told I'm supposed to say that when I make a video like this one. Ladies and gentlemen, well drillers can't be flexible because if they were, they would immediately lose their head and their backsides and suffocate. That's why there's such a stain on this earth. Let's talk about a place where they really show their true colors. The place is called Tower, Michigan. It's a little village about 5 miles from where I live, and the water table here is only about 5 feet in most places. It's a very pretty little village that boasts a park, a sawmill, and a liquor store, but it used to have 2 liquor stores. I had a lot of friends here when I was growing up. Most of the wells in Tower are these low-flow, hand-driven wells. These are the well points they use. The well point and the screen are all one piece. You attach pipe to this and drive it into the ground until you find water. I've installed a lot of these, and they're only technically legal for agricultural use, not residential. But it hasn't always been that way. It became law in the area that any new well be at least 40 feet deep. That's apparently to protect you against contaminated groundwater, but there's a problem with that, especially in the Tower area. First off, most people in Tower cannot afford a new well. That's alright as long as their old well never breaks, it's grandfathered in, they cannot get in trouble for one that existed before the law was put in place. The second thing is there's absolutely no water at 40 feet in Tower. You see, you got water at 25 feet, 15, 25 feet, lots of water there. Then there's absolutely nothing for another 200 feet. And when you find water again at 200 feet, it stains everything red and it smells like sulfur and swamp water. It's gross. Nobody would ever drink that stuff. As far as these things go, they can be quite reliable. The pumps are a bit of a pain, but they're above ground and away from the well, so they're not really part of the equation. The only real issue is these things tend to vibrate underground when water moves through them, and if there's a rock against that galvanized pipe anywhere underground, it'll rub a hole through the pipe and you get a total failure. It really wouldn't have been that big of an issue in the time before, just hammer in another well point right next to your old one, but the new law said that any new well had to be at least 40 feet deep. Who cares? It's Tower. Who's going to narc on you for anything you did in Tower? This is where our evil well drillers come into play, and this is what makes them what I believe them to be. These are the tools I would use to drive a shallow well in Tower. I would start by digging a 5-foot deep hole with the shovel. Then I would dig a 4-foot deep hole inside of that hole with a post hole digger. That meant that I was already at 9 feet, so I only had to go another 10 feet with the pink of the hammer. And of course what happened is some unwanted fungus, gross, smelly, stinky, hairy mistake of a human being well digger started paying poor people to tattle on other poor people for driving wells. So every time somebody heard a clink, 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 a whole herd of people would come looking for that sound, hoping to get a piece of that action. Then the smelly well digger went and tattled on the property owners, thinking they would then be forced to buy a new well, and probably from him. But in most cases, the property owners couldn't afford it, so they'd have to build outhouses or carry water from a hand pump shallow well at a nearby park. Some people tried to get around this guy by pushing the pipes into the ground with a front end loader secretly, or late at night water jetting the pipes in quietly. This guy tried to justify himself by saying he was protecting people from dangerous contaminated groundwater. But this guy was no hero. If you paid him extra, he would drill you a 40-foot hole, put a cap at the bottom, and put the screen at 25 feet. I've seen it. He did eventually go away. I don't know what happened to him. He just pissed off someplace, thank God. So now people in Tower can do whatever people in Tower are doing. But for a while there, it was kind of a mini war. And we have well drillers to thank for that. Smelly, stinking well drillers.